This is Vicky, also known as Dragonfly7673. Today is, I don't know. I have no idea what day it is. And it's Friday. It is Friday, April 29th. I am recording in a different location in our house. I stayed home today and I worked from this spot because I could use my little card table and adjust it so that I could reach my keyboard and stuff. And so I didn't feel like moving the table and getting it all reset up, so I figured I'd just record right here. Now, I work from home other times and I don't have this set up, and the reason is I normally sit on the couch and just have my laptop in my lap, which I realize long term is not the best position, but it's what I do. Actually, what I usually do is I sit sideways on the couch and put it on top of the armrest. Either way, I'm wearing a big brace. This big brace means I cannot bend my wrist. I cannot use my thumb, which is the point of it. And these fingers are uncomfortable. So what I hadn't realized is that if I put the laptop in my lap, it was too low and I couldn't bend my wrist to type. If I put it on the dining room table, it was too high. So I ended up using this little card table, which you can actually put at an angle. So I lowered it and put it at an angle. Now I flattened it back out, but I didn't raise it back up to its normal position. So if anything seems off, that might be it. But this chair is also lower, so when I took a snapshot, it seemed like it was going to be okay. I may get back later and find out I'm chopped from here up, especially because photos are wider than the video screen. But that's all right. I told you guys last time that while I have no intention of splitting my videos into fiber and cross stitch, I am me. I am all blended. So my videos normally will be two. I did say that this one was going to be cross stitch heavy because I didn't want to put everything into last week's. Last week's was long enough with all the knitting and Utopia and stuff like that. So this week is mostly cross stitch. I did get a little knitting done. I did knit some on the twitchy socks, which to anybody that doesn't watch, twitchy socks are because I don't sit still very well. So twitchy socks get worked on in waiting rooms and movies. Twitchy. One of my employees suggested I need to take up coloring because I can color with my right hand only. But right now my left arm is actually really sore to the point that I don't feel like doing much of anything. But this happened before this. So, kind of. This happened before I got told I need to wear a brace. So, Monday night we went to go see Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. So we got to see the second Indiana Jones movie in the theater. And I think I was right at the top of the black last time because I remember telling you guys I didn't knit very much. And so then that means I actually knit more this time, I believe. It was a slightly longer movie, but it's not proportional, so. Or I'm just misremembering where I was at. But anyway, that is the only knitting I got done. So you're probably wondering why. So I'll cover that real quick. I drive in my Honda. My Honda has a very wide steering wheel center. And with this hand, I drive holding the steering wheel like this across that wide piece. Now, and I drive with my left hand because for years I had a stick shift. When you have a stick shift, you tend to steer with your left and shift with your right. And pretty much everybody I've talked to who at some point drove a stick shift, I'll say, yep, we all drive with our left hands. But anyway, but I hold it like this. Actually, let me put a picture real quick here. All right, so you saw I have my hand like that. I'm not pushing down on the thumb, but I am kind of misaligning the thumb. And I could tell while I was driving that that was getting irritated. But it's one of those things that if you always do it, even if you know it hurts and you change your hand position, invariably you stop thinking about it and you put your hand back. I tried switching hands. Well, that just felt awkward because I steer with my left hand. So anyway, hopefully it is temporary. I saw the doctor on Wednesday. Next week, Wednesday, I get to decide for myself how it's feeling. If it feels better, take the brace off. No big deal. Be nice to it in the future and all is good. If it doesn't feel better, then I have to go back to the doctor and get physical therapy. So we're hoping for a week. In the meantime, it's a real pain. It's hard to type, and it's hard to type. It's hard to hold things. It's hard to open things. Weird things are irritating me. Like I went to open I was trying to flip through a magazine, but I couldn't flip with this hand, which is how I normally do it. and by the end of yesterday when we got the mail and I went to flip through the magazine, I just got irritated and threw it on the chair. And best friend was looking at me going, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I can't flip the magazine and I'm just done. I calmed down a few minutes after that. It was just, it is what it is. And thankfully it's only a week. So, all right. Now, so the knitting took place at the movies before I got this. After the injury, but before I got this. I had told you that this would be cross stitch heavy because I had stuff to show and I didn't want the last podcast running too long. Well, I still have stuff to show, and I then have more because I ended up going on a road trip unexpectedly. So the first thing I wanted to show you was I ordered from DMC. They have this new colorless yarn that has long color segments, and they're drastically different. Like this one is blue, yellow, green, and gray, and they're chunks of color. This one is a 2 types of pink and 2 types of gray. They're really pretty. I have a picture of them all laid out. All right, and it came with a couple different cross stitch items. This says Sweet Home, and it uses, there's a bigger picture that I'll show you. It uses the colors, and if you look, you can see how you get blocks of red and gray and white, or in the house you get browns and blues. Now, the way to make sure it doesn't blend, and it tells you in here for your best effect, you complete the entire cross stitch. So a lot of us tend to like do a row of half the X going one way, and then you come back on the row going the other way. You don't want to do that with this because you want to use say the blue segment. You want to make a complete X, or maybe a complete couple X's, and then when you hit the orange, you're going to use that. Now, obviously, there's going to be a couple of stitches where it blends, but that way you get full color in them, like here in the leaf. So it came with this, along with a couple other little mini patterns. So it's just a little sampler. It's got initials and a date. A little pot of flowers. Now all of these, even the big, well, this one uses, it uses some of this and some of a regular DMC. This one's all colorless. Colorless. I like this one. This one I think is my favorite. But anyway, I thought they were really pretty. I thought they were interesting. So I got the whole kit. So I got all the colors at once. But anyway, what I was starting to say is not everything is the new stuff. There's sections that are actually, like the little bits of border, are really the regular solids. Words are a struggle today. It also came with bigger bobbins. They're 6 cardboards, yeah, which seems silly. And you get 6. There's a lot more colors than that, and 2 rings. That just came with. Now the reason I had even gone out to the site was because I wanted this. Now, most of the time when you see the color charts these days, they are photographs. This one is one of the ones that is still the actual thread, and this is what I wanted. So it has all the regular colors. I believe, I think these are the color effects. These are color variations, and these are, no, these are the metallics, and there's another kind on the back. So, but it's the actual threads, not photographs of the threads, which I have heard that the photographs are not particularly good, so I got this. So that's actually what I went for. I got the colorist kit. I also ordered a door hanging bobbin holder, except for they did not send me a door hanging bobbin holder. They sent me a mini travel stitch bow kit. Totally not what I wanted. So they're paying for the shipping, but I had to ship it back. And then once they receive it, they're supposed to ship the correct thing to me. I have not checked the tracking on that to see if they should have it already, but I would think so. It went UPS a few days ago, actually. But anyway, okay. So that was one of the things that I already had that I wanted to show you. Trying to put stuff in the right place. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with the those yarns. Or say mostly knit and stuff. I'm going to say yarn with those threads, because I haven't decided yet. One of the other things I wanted to show you was I got a bunch of needle minders, and actually this isn't all the needle minders. Some of them got pulled into projects already. And because I got them a while ago, I don't remember who's who, which is probably a terrible thing to say, but I like both sets. So they're both from Etsy. This one is Needle Minder Obsession. She's Stitch in Mad on Etsy. I'll link it in the show notes. Now, she is from Australia, so they did take longer to get here. She shipped them very quickly, but they took almost a month to arrive to me. And the other ones are from Gina's Unique Boutique, also on Etsy. So part of it was I wanted to get some that were going to kind of match. So Mickey and Tinkerbell are for my Disney project. Well, that was my thought. My thought was, now I'm thinking I'm missing more than I thought I was. My thought was that as I'm doing different sections of the Disney, I could get a needle minder that kind of makes me think of that section. Because it's movie based. So the middle section is just Mickey and Friends. And I figured Mickey and Friends, perfect. So the little squirrel was because he was really cute, and I have that one project that has the squirrel that's knitting, and I just got a kick out of it. Happily Ever After, I kind of thought went with my Disney as well. The kitty, I just liked. Same with this little baby dragon over here. I actually took him out of my cart and put him back in like 5 times. And finally decided, well, if I liked him that much, I was just going to get him. The dragon, I just liked. And same with this little, like, moonstone one. I'm really sorry that I don't remember who's who. And this is also really... a few years ago when I was going to start cross-stitching and I made just a little piece for my son, I got myself a chart keeper that I thought was metallic because it was magnetic. Today was the first day I actually opened it and found out it was actually basically cardboard with a cardboard insert that has a magnetic sheet on it that you can lay on it. I was just like, really? Okay. All right. So I got those. I also got this, and I wanted to show you. One of the floss tubers is Coffee Stitcher. And actually, I didn't realize at first what he was doing, but he has a bunch of Oz stuff. And so now I think he's doing this. But I bought it before I realized that. But on Stitch Maynia. Stitch Maynia is a Facebook group. It's also an event. And they have little mini events. And one of them was to work on a Brooks Books project. And so I just linked over to Brooks Books to see what it was. And found this, fell in love, and bought it immediately. Now, if anybody has known me for a long time, I like Wizard of Oz. I collect all the books. Frank L. Baum and Ruth Plumley Thompson. I keep looking outside. I'm not used to having something to look at. Frank L. Baum and Ruth Plumley Thompson. I like the movie. I love the books. I also just kind of collect fun things. It's just the way I am. So when I saw this, it is the Spirit of Oz Santa. It's Santa, kind of as the wizard. He's got the balloon back there. He's got toy versions of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz and the lion. Little bitty Toto, the witch. Glinda's up here. So I bought the chart pack, which means you get the chart, the perforated paper, and the beads that are necessary. You still have to supply the floss. The floss and any little like braids or ribbons. Yeah. There's Krennic braids, DMC floss, micro ice chenille are not included, but there's a material guide in here. But the charts are a full page. One page represents one sheet. So as long as, sorry, I'm not normally out where the phone is. As long as you lay it out exactly like it's here, you'll be able to have all the little pieces. Because I mean, there's a lot of finishing stuff. Like Dorothy has hair to braid, you know, and there's ribbons to tie onto the balloon, but it just looked fun. I mean, Mom's gonna look at this and be like, yep, she knows totally why I got it. So that was one of the other things I wanted to show you. Best friend is traveling today, so I'm sorry I have my phone on. All right. I think I have pictures of that. Let me stop, check my phone, and then I will be back to you to tell you about my road trip. All right. Best friend is going to an event this weekend, and he had to pick up 3 people on the way, and they just got there. And so mainly he was letting me know that he got there, and there were a couple things that we needed to touch base on and then be done. So one of the things I wanted to do is start gridding my giant Disney project. And I'll show in a minute again what that project was. But in the meantime, I started measuring out. I folded it in quarters, and then I measured up. I counted in 10 spaces, measured up and across so I could find where to start my gridding in the corner. Well, there's a problem here. This right here, that is not enough to frame with. Frankly, even this distance here is tight to frame with. I mean, so this is the fabric that came with the kit. I was very unhappy. I actually measured it and counted it. I don't know how many times, thinking I must have done something wrong. And if you just measure across the fabric, it seems like it should be okay, but it's not quite straight, so it's skewed. Anyway, I was very unhappy, and I tried looking online to find 18 count Aida cloth, and it looked like it was going to cost me a small fortune to order it and ship it. And so I posted on the Stitch Maynia group, is there anyone who's from the Milwaukee area who knows of a needlework store? Because I don't know of any, and I'm looking for a big piece of Aida cloth. And this one woman, I can't think of her name right now. I want to say Jennifer, but I'm not sure. Very nice. We actually ended up talking back and forth, but she said, well, it's not right there. It's a drive, but there's a store called Welcome Stitchery in Crystal Lake that will probably have what you need. So I looked them up. I actually seriously considered, because last Friday was kind of a bad day. I locked myself in a room to get stuff done. I was successful, but I had to lock myself in a room to do it, and it was an icky day. I seriously considered leaving early and just driving, but it was going to be around a 2-hour drive, and I would have gotten there right as they were closing. So I talked to best friend, and he said, well, he was busy Saturday, but he's like, why don't you just make the trip on Saturday? He's like, if there's something you want to go look at. And so I'm like, well, yeah, okay, because I really wanted the fabric. I didn't want to have to order it if I didn't have to, because I didn't want to wait for it, honestly. I was hoping to start my Disney project for Stitch Maynia, which I will talk about my Stitch Maynia plans in a minute. And for the knitting people, I will explain what in the world Stitch Maynia is. But anyway, so I decided to take a trip down to this store, and they helped me. There's 3 women in there. Super, super nice. Now, here is my project. It is 500 stitches by 342 on 18 count. It is 19 down and approximately 28 across. So I needed, much more than that to have enough to frame. So they found me this fabric. It is Fiddler's Light. And she did say that if it, that's where I'm like, I knew there was one more stitch minder. The other one said Happily Ever After. That one says Once Upon a Time. This is Fiddler's Light. Now, the woman that measured it out for me said that as long as I didn't care that while I was stitching on it, the flecks are going up and down. She said she always likes them to go across. But this they cut me a fat half. So it ended up being the perfect size. if you look, here's one of my corner markers. Plenty of room up and across. No worries at all. And frankly, I like this fabric better. So I went down there. Cute little downtown area. There was a Starbucks across the street. There was a bunch of little stores. I didn't go anywhere else, but the store was amazing. Best friend loves a store called Woodcraft. Like, you go in there and the people there are super friendly. I don't do woodworking, and these guys are like super friendly to me. They also have coffee and popcorn, but they are willing to help. They don't hover, but they're there to help you if you have a question. They talk through different ways they've done through stuff in their, when they've done work. And so I told him, I'm like, this store is like, it's like when we go to Woodcraft, because it was the only way I could think to explain to him. But they were so helpful. They had like 3 of them helping look for fabric. Then they made sure I had a basket. Well, of course, they want to make sure you can carry more, but they were sweet. And they had so much stuff. Besides the fact that in the fabric section, because they had a fabric section, they had all different kinds of stuff. They had the basics. They had some hand-dyed. They had bolts. They actually asked me if I wanted linen, because if I wanted linen, it would have been easier to find a piece. But I said, I've never worked on linen. I've only worked on Aida cloth. And we were all in agreement that this project should not be my first time into linen. So once we got that straightened out, I had to look around. And I was looking around and just like falling in love, because they had little kits, and they had charts, and they had beads. And then right about the time I thought I was done, I realized there was a whole back room. So I bought a lot more than I had planned to while I was there, and not nearly as much as I could have. I put a lot of stuff back. All right. So I'm sure you want to see now what I got in the bag that the kitties are trying to sleep in. All right. First of all, for charts only, I got 2 charts. Both of them are ink circles. I did not know about ink circles until I went there, but I have to say that I loved every single ink circle chart I saw. This one I actually want to do in purples. And since it's just a chart, I can do it in whatever color I want to. But I just thought it was really pretty. It comes out to, they recommend a 30 count on beige linen, and it's going to be approximately an 8-inch square. This one also beautiful. If done on 28 count, which would be equivalent to 14 count Aida, it would be 17 inches square. If on 36 count, it would be 13 1/4 inch square. They said that there's a lot of stitches in this. You need 12 8-yard skeins of the floss. Now they did it in a hand-dyed silk, and it says there are 22,500 stitches. That's a lot. But I bought the kit. I bought the charts because I just like fell in love with them. I won't be starting them anytime soon. I bought myself, here's one more needle minder, but this wasn't from that other group. I bought this while I was there because one of the other reasons I like the idea of needle minders is because when I'm done working on something, I can save the needle minder and like remember stitching on that item. For me, this one will remind me of going to the shop. So now I can put it with the rest. I also got, this is a Mill Hill Dragonfly kit. Now, years ago, I used to love buying Mill Hill kits because, I mean, even today, $7.50 for this little kit. Mill Hill kits used to be one of those things I could afford. Like if we went to the bead show, I couldn't afford a lot. But something like this would keep me occupied. It was fun. And I have another dragonfly that I made years back, and it's it hangs on my wall at work, and it has through several jobs. So I decided it needed a friend. I didn't put these in particular order, so I'm going to do it now. This was actually at the front. It was my impulse at the end. Mill Hill Calavera ornament. So this one is the Rosa. So it's mostly pink. And I just thought it was cool. They had them in different colors. They actually, it says on here you could buy 2 and then you could stitch them back to back. I didn't want to do that. But I like it. It's just fun. These, they had several of these, and I finally had to sit there and sort through. And again, I mean, we're talking $7.50 for something that'll keep me entertained for a while. These are $9. They're ornaments, and they're actually on cloth. So the green here and the orange here, that's actually the color of the linen. So I actually sorted through. There were several, and I picked my top 2 favorites. Yeah, I got 2 more, and they also gave me a freebie chart, and a jar opener. I was a little confused by the jar opener. It's one of those rubber pads. I mean, trust me, I'll use it. Well, you can use it here, but it still struck me as funny. Compliments of the Cricut collection. They put a free chart in the bag. It's a pansy basket egg. So, an Easter egg. This is the Sweetheart Sapphires and Diamonds Heart. I picked this one because it has little bitty bits of specialty stitches. You probably can't see, but they're up at the top. There's some specialty stitches. I just thought it would be kind of cool to have just a little bit, a taste of specialty stitches without being overwhelming in anything. Because I do have a bigger project that has nothing but specialty stitches. And that one won't get done for a while. Now this was more expensive. I mean, you can see on there it's $25. And same with this one. You probably aren't going to be able to see this roll out. No, I think this is funny. So this was kitted, very cute. It's kitted like this. It's got the little, you know, scrapbooking. The whole scrapbooking flower. This is an actual photo, like on photo paper, and then a little packaging. It is called the Spring Sheep. It has a little sheep and a bunch of flowers. I have no idea if that's going to show. And the little kit was all stapled together, and little bits of floss. I mean, it's really your little bit of linen. It's a little tiny kit. But the chart looks good. It doesn't have, this one does not have any specialty stitches, I don't think. I think it's all pure cross stitch. And again, I've been buying a couple of these like small little linen things so I could play with linen. This one's 1 strand. This one's 1/2. I think this one's 2/2. But I figured they're a good way to play, and I like the sheep because, you know, I also knit and spin, so it like combines in my world. So let me post pictures of these. So, Stitch Maynia is an activity made up by the Stitch Maynia group. Now, Mania is Maynia. So, Mania for... And in May, they do something crazy. They decide to do 15 new starts in the month of May. So, like the first 15 days of May, they do a new start every day and have 15 new projects started. And my understanding is it was a way to, like, you know, get past your fear, get into those projects you've been looking at and you really want to do. Well, let's kit them up and get going. That's way too many starts for me. I would go crazy. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. So, and they are super, super loose on their rules. As long as you're having, their big goal is that you have fun. So they, so some people are actually doing only 5. Like every 3 days they're starting a new one. Some people are doing all works in progress. They're taking unfinished objects and works in progress and doing 15 of those in the month. Some people are spreading it out, like it was the 15 in 15 days. Well, instead they're doing one every other day. Whatever. One person is going the other direction, and she's actually one of the crazy people that designed it, and she is doing 36 new starts because she turns 36 in the month of May. Which, if you calculate, means on some of those days she's starting more than one project. I don't want to have 15 new starts for cross stitch, especially because cross stitch isn't the only thing I do. But so I decided that I was going to, I still wanted to play. I wanted to have fun. It sounds like fun. So I decided, okay, what am I going to do? I decided I'm going to do, for me, Pumpkin Passport, the first day of the month, the new Pumpkin Passport comes out. And for me, each month is its own thing. I realize it's now like all blended together, but still you get a piece of pattern at the beginning of the month. So I will be starting the May Pumpkin Passport. I will also start my Disney full coverage project, which is kind of cool because this gives me that incentive so I don't get to be scared about it. I have to start it. I also picked one of my mini kits. I picked this one. I picked this one to start. And then I decided I picked 2 other things. So I guess I did pick 5 in a way, but my 2 other things I want to spin. I spun that skein of yarn for my swap partner, and I realized that I really miss spinning. And I don't do it enough. Now I've been good. I haven't been adding to the fiber stash while I'm not spinning, so that's good. But I want to spin 1 skein of yarn, and I justified, because you can, whatever you can do to justify it, then it counts. So my justification was that it will turn into yarn that will eventually be used for knitting and crocheting, and knitting and crocheting have stitches, even though it's not the same kind of stitches. Also, my mystery knit along shawl, the next one for the unique sheep, that starts May 20th for the Heidi shawl, and so therefore that's a new start as well, and also made up of stitches. So I had a lot of people that like the plan. So those are my 5 starts: the Pumpkin Passport, the little kit, my Disney project, my spin a skein of yarn, and the Heidi shawl. So as long as this doesn't keep me from doing anything. I did figure out that if my cross stitch is in the frame, now in the past I always held my frame with the left hand and I stitched one-handed. Since I have the frame, I've been doing two-handed. I keep one hand on the top and one on the bottom, which actually goes much faster. But if it's in the frame, I don't have to hold it, and I don't have to do two-handed. I can one-handed. And best friend was near me the other night, and he, I was showing him, see, I'm not using my other hand. So, that was acceptable. Now, I obviously can't do this because it's tiny and it needs to be done in hand, and I can't hold it very well. Like, this hurts. Like, not like super hurts, but it's guaranteed I can't do that for real long. So I obviously won't be starting that. I am hoping, I was going to try tonight, I'm hoping I will be able to grid basically one-handed, which I'm pretty sure is what I was doing anyway. So I'm going to lay it out on the dining room table tonight and see how it goes. Because I would like to, I started the grid, but I only got 2 sides. There's a lot of gridding on that project. So I'd like to grid, and if so, that's what I will take to when I go see my son and mom this weekend. I'm so used to being able to knit. My son is practicing driving for his driving test that he's taking on Monday with my car, which is why I'm going. And I had planned to knit in the car while he was practicing driving, because otherwise it's going to be a long, boring day, but no knitting. And gridding is not something that I can do in the car, or coloring. Yeah, I will have to just sit there like a normal person. Anyway, oh, so anyway, those are my 5 starts, and I'm hoping I can grid, because then Sunday is when the new pumpkin passport comes out. It comes out at 7 o'clock at night. I will be with my mom and my son, and I thought about taking that project with me, but I'd also have to take the stand, and I don't think I'm going to. Mostly because I would only be able to work on it from like 7 to 9 or so, and then Monday I work all day until I go take him for his driver's test, and then I'm coming back here. So there really wouldn't be that much stitching time, and it seemed like an awful lot to balance. So I will hopefully start that Tuesday. Yeah. Okay. So I won't be able to start Stitch Maynia day 1. I did want to show you 2 things that I got. Joann Fabrics was having a sale. I went in there because I needed felt. That was all I went in there for, was because I needed felt to put underneath the Q-snap. And so they had all, like basically all the lights were on sale, like 40 to 60% off. And somebody at Knitopia had one of these. Like, it just clips on your belt or whatever. I don't know why you'd want to. Well, this way. I don't know why you'd want to, but it does. And I am not going to shine it at you, but it's a light. There's 9 little mini lights. It is super bright, and she just had it there for when she needed it. I mean, you obviously wouldn't be able to use this all the time. I mean, because, yeah, you can clip this to something else. I'm guessing you're supposed to not clip it to your belt loop. That's just what it looks like to me, because it looks like an old pager. Yeah. You can't clip it to a lot because it's not that kind of clip, but it puts out a lot of light. And it was, so I had they were on sale, and then I had a 20% off entire purchase coupon. So I got that, and I got this. It's a tweezers with a magnifying glass and a light. I don't know how to show you that. But anyway, if you turn the light on, and I was picking hair out of some really bad kitty hair got into one of my cross stitch projects, and I could pick the hair out really easy. They work really well. My thought is that when I get to the point of wanting to remove grid lines, this would be handy. And frankly, they're handy for pulling out splinters and stuff too. So there's enough uses for tweezers that having lit and magnified ones. And they were like, I want to say they were $13 and then on sale. I don't think they were $19. I'm pretty sure they were $13. Anyway, just 2 just handy items. Like I said, I went in for floss, or for felt. And I also bought some needle threaders and needles. That's kind of become my thing. Every time I go in, I buy needle threaders and needles. Eventually, best friend's going to look around and be like, really? But I'm so worried about losing them that I buy more. I actually have them in that or not having them with me. So when I have a project bag like this one doesn't have one yet, but we'll eventually get a little tin that has the needle threader, a thing of needles, and scissors and such. I was just going to say something. Oh, I tried to use Thread Heaven on something. My thought was, oh, well, they're getting kind of tangled. I'll use the Thread Heaven. I learned that for me, Thread Heaven really attracts cat hair, which is why I was using these. It was like it just was like magnet. So I don't think I'm going to be using the Thread Heaven a lot. So, all right. I believe that is everything. So I'm going to post this, upload it. I'm expecting that the next time I podcast, things will be kind of back to normal, which will mean normal will be a mix of things, assuming I can work. And the next time, by then, April will be closed out because the last day of April is tomorrow. So the Fiber and You, which I saw, oh, I can't remember who it was, but somebody posted their needlework. And I remember because one of them looked like Heidi. Anyway, so post your stuff in the Fiber and You. I will open up the May one on May 1st. And then I will do the drawing, whatever the first episode is after I come back. Well, I'm not coming back from anywhere. The next time I record. I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye now.